Good afternoon, everyone. I, Yashaswika Yadav, welcome you to the webinar series Media Master, where we unravel various aspects of journalism and mass communication industry. The Media Master series is being organized by DME Media School, Delhi Metropolitan Education, which is an A-grade premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. The institute offers BBA, BA LLB, BBA LLB with BCI approval and BA JMC programs. It believes in imparting world-class education to its students while training them to develop and enhance their skills. This education and training enable them in taking up challenges of the industry and creating a space for themselves with their competence and vigor. This is the fourth edition of Media Master, where we will be discussing about broadcast journalism. In the earlier editions of Media Masters, the media aspirants were familiarized with media basics, followed by discussion on the media landscape in print journalism and radio journalism. Our upcoming lectures include a webinar on language media that will take place on Sunday, that is July 26, 2020, between 3 to 4 p.m. through Zoom platform, moderated by Professor Dr. Susmita Bala, Head DME Media School. Another one, digital and social media, which will be held on Wednesday, that is July 29th, 2020, between 3 to 4 p.m. through Zoom platform, moderated by Mr. Ritvik Ghosh, Assistant Professor, DME Media School. I would request you to please register yourself for this. You can find the links in the chat box. Today, we will be discussing about the fascinating medium, television, and the opportunities in broadcast journalism, the skill set required to be a reporter and an anchor, and the challenges faced by the journalist. To enlighten us on this interesting topic, I am joined by Dr. Amrish Saxena, Dean, DME Media School, and Director, DME Studios and Production. Dr. Saxena is an accomplished media professional, researcher, author, anchor, and political analyst. He has worked at different media platforms ranging from theatre, puppetry, print, radio, television, film, and digital before switching over to media academics and research. Dr. Saxena has played a long inning in active journalism, having association with groups like The Pioneer and Amrit Bazar Patrika during the 1980s. He has worked as a correspondent for the first ever TV Hindi news magazine Parak on Doordarshan during 1990s. He has been anchoring highly rated program of AIR FM Gold, Market Mantra for close to 2 decades. Dr. Saxena has academic association with more than 20 universities, which include 4 central, 5 state, and 9 private deemed university. He has 36 books to his credit as sole author, main author, chapter, writer, and editor. He has presented more than 60 research papers in national and international seminar conferences. Dr. Saxena has extensive international exposure. He has visited China, Australia, United States, Dubai, Egypt, Spain, and France as a part of his academic endeavors. He is member of International Association of Media and Communication Research, IAMCR. In 2019, he made a presentation on innovation in journalism education as a sole representative of Asia and World Journalism Education Conference, WJEC in Paris. Dr. Saxena today will share his insights on broadcast journalism, which will help the media aspirants understand the nitty-gritty of broadcast journalism. Thank you, sir. I also hope to learn a lot today from your experience. Before we start, I would request all the media aspirants, professionals, and my fellow teachers, if you have any questions, please write it in the chat box. I will take questions on your behalf and would also request to keep your audio on mute for a seamless experience. Also, I will be sharing with you the feedback form link. I would appreciate if you could fill the form and share with us. Thank you. So before we take up some questions, I would like to ask about your experience working as a correspondent for the first ever TV Hindi news magazine, Parak on Doordarshan.
Okay. That was a very formative years of Doordarshan in India, though Doordarshan came much earlier, if we call it a Doordarshan. So that way it came in 1976, though television came in India in 1959. But then if we talk about TV news, that came much later, though initially there were some bulletins along with other kind of programs and entertainment programs, films, songs, etc. But this news was a very small component in Doordarshan. So news and current affairs became part of, major broadcasting of Doordarshan much later. That is in the middle of the 1980s. And initially there were bulletins and some discussion or interview-based programs. But then, as far as proper weekly magazine kind of program that was not there. So Parak filled that gap. So Parak started late 1980s as a weekly news magazine, and the credit for that goes to Vinod Dua. He was a known broadcaster of that time. He started his career from All India Radio, and then from Doordarshan, he was doing certain programs. But then he set up his own company and started producing this program, Parak. So this was produced by an outside company. There used to be the provision those days in Doordarshan, wherein Doordarshan was hiring the companies from outside to produce programs for them. This was done to infuse some new blood, some new format of programs on Doordarshan, because otherwise it was in the government setup till 1990s. Later on, it became autonomous, but in 1990 it was in the government setup. But then a lot of such programs we can find of this kind, like Parak was in Hindi. It was a weekly news magazine. So that credit goes to Parak, that it was the first Hindi news magazine which was coming on air on a weekly basis. But then there were other programs also, like World This Week program used to be there, which was being produced by NDTV. Not this because the today's generation knows about NDTV channel, but that time NDTV was a production house. It was a completely new production house which was set up by Pranay Roy, and he was making two programs for Doordarshan, because that time only Doordarshan used to be there. No private channels had appeared on the scene. So whosoever wanted to make programs, news-based programs, they had to approach the Doordarshan, and once their proposal is approved, and Doordarshan was giving them certain time slots. The other conditions were being agreed upon between Doordarshan and that production house, and then the program was being produced by that company, was handed over to Doordarshan, and Doordarshan was playing that program on the stipulated date and time. So that was those days of Doordarshan, the growth of television in India.
Quite a journey, sir. Also, sir, of course, broadcast journalism is very dynamic and technology evolves like within 2-3 years. How would you say the broadcast journalism has changed since the 90s? In fact, it changes within 2 years, but how would you say how it has changed now? What innovation?
Yeah, so I have to tell a little bit history, and then I will trace to what we are witnessing today. So there are some hard facts which I believe every such person who is media inquisitiveness and having that eagerness to know must be knowing. Television came in India formally, though in the world it came in the second decade of 19th century, 20th century. But then in India, it came in 1959. Till that time, only radio broadcasting used to be there. India got independence in 1947. And I told you this in the last episode that that time All India Radio used to be there, which started in 1936. Radio broadcasting came in India formally in 1927. And in 1947, there used to be 4 radio stations. 2 went to Pakistan when partition happened. 4 remained in India. So from 1947 to 1959, only radio broadcasting used to be there. And radio was being used for development purpose. And this is an interesting thing which applies to both radio and television. There used to be no entertainment aspect. Whether radio or television, they were there primarily for spreading information, and that too which has a development orientation. So I mean, both radio and television were the platform which were being used as tools for the purpose of development. So after independence, also the governments which were there, they worked on the growth of radio so that development agenda could be pushed forward. And that time, that was the need of the hour because India was a newly independent country and development was the primary need. Though even today, that's the primary need. But that time, obviously, we were very backward in every area. And if we talk about agriculture, because India is basically an agrarian economy, even today, more than 70% people are involved in agriculture as occupation in one way or the other. And that time it must be 85 or 90%. So obviously the whole emphasis was on agriculture and the kind of medium which was their radio. So all kind of development, and that time development means agriculture primarily. Now there are so many offshoots of development. So all that was happening. So there was no attention to television, but somehow this television came as a project in India. And finally, Government of India agreed to make some experiment to see to this how television can be used for development purpose, right? So in 15th September 1959, there were some transmitters installed in Delhi. This experiment is started from Delhi, and then some development messages were being produced, were produced by people who were working in All India Radio, and then all those programs were put on air. This happened in 59. This experiment succeeded. The feedback was collected and the government came to know that television can be used in a big way for development purpose. So for few years, this continued, though this was a project. So when the project was completed in 1960, thereafter, Government of India decided to produce some programs. Now, again, there was no television that time, no Doordarshan that time, only All India Radio used to be there. So all television programs were being produced by All India Radio, right? So thereafter, the government decided to produce and broadcast certain programs on a periodic basis. I cannot tell you very precisely, but then one program twice a day, I mean, one program after 2 days or after 3 days, this kind of practice was started for 3 or 4 years that continued. From 1965 onwards, the programming increased, but then also it remained in the purview of the of All India Radio. Then all the things that we as teacher teach, all this Chanda committee was set up to recommend as to how new kind of programming can be started in All India Radio. So thereafter certain recommendations were made. Post 1970s, some more emphasis on programming was made, but then mind it, television was not an independent entity in India. That again took time. So when emergency was imposed in 1975, then that time, then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi thought that television should be expanded, and then according to her, according to then government, this could be used as an effective instrument to take the agenda of the government forward. So that is how Doordarshan took birth in 1976 as an independent entity. Thereafter, the programming started in a big way. But then again, it was thought that if television was to be made popular, if Doordarshan was to be made popular, then obviously some deviation, I mean, departure from the development agenda has to be there. So entertainment programs were introduced, and two important entertainment programs were introduced. One was the Chitrahar, which was initially started once a week. Then it started twice a week. Then one feature film was introduced. It was initially played once in a week, then again twice in a week. And then in 1980s, everybody has this set program that when the film is being screened, so everybody was watching that film. और जिसके घर में television set नहीं थे, mind it, television set नहीं हुआ करते थे उस समय, सारे imported होते थे. But 1980s में गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत अच्छा फैसला किया। उन्होंने देखा कि जो इम्पोर्टेड सेट है वो महंगे थे और दे वर नॉट एबल टू फुलफिल द डिमांड इन द मार्केट, सो many companies were given license, and before the giving license to private companies, many state governments set up their own companies. Like I remember in 1982, around that time, in UP government set up a committee to manufacture television set. The company was known as Uptron. This electronic company, something like that. So that also started because the instrument, the operators, the tools were required जहाँ पर लोग प्रोग्राम देख पाए। तो जिसके पास टीवी सेट होते थे वो अपने घर पे देखते थे, ज्यादातर लोगों के पास नहीं होते थे, क्योंकि उस समय की जो हमारी जीडीपी थी, जो लोगों के पास उनकी परचेजिंग पावर थी, तो सब लोग अपने पास पड़ोस में जाके टेलीविजन देखा करते थे। So that was the time. But then the real thrust happened in 1984 when this Asiad happened. And then Doordarshan also became all color. And when and all this happened, obviously credit to Mrs. Indira Gandhi. When Indira Gandhi came back to power in 1980, she had a very clear-cut strategy to take Doordarshan to every nook and corner of the country, because she had realized that this is one medium with the help of which she can consolidate power in the entire country. So the real growth happened between 1980 and 1984. And thereafter, there was a steady growth. Uh, Obviously, radio became a casualty in 1980s. It took rebirth in late 1990. And then 1990 was the real decade of television. In 1992, private channel came, private satellite TV came. It was private, and it was also satellite based. Before that, it was in the government setup, and it was terrestrial. Terrestrial means, or in the last episode also I referred to this term, terrestrial means it was a transmitter based broadcasting. Is still like All India Radio is completely a transmitter based broadcasting. No satellite is used on All India Radio, or if it is used, it is used in a very limited sense. Because when we talk about this terrestrial and satellite, one important thing for the common understanding I can tell is that if you can watch your radio program or television program, and particularly in the case of television, since we are talking about television, without subscribing to any service provider, then it's a terrestrial broadcast. Because whenever the satellite comes into, then you need to have a service provider. Whether you take the service of the cable operator or you take the service of this dish operators, whether it's Dish TV. I mean, there are so many companies which provide you this set-top box based service. And the latest, which many of us now using, is the internet based broadcasting. Like Airtel came with this concept of IPTV, which is this protocol, internet-based protocol TV. And then this Jio has come with this service wherein you are you are not using the dish system, but you are using the internet-based system. So through internet, the broadcasting or the streaming is being done. So in every aspect, just a complete changeover, complete transformation, whether we talk about the television sets, like we have entered into the age of this smart TV. In a smart TV also, I mean, so many generations have come one after another. And then, so that change has come. As far as the transmission is concerned, we have traveled from terrestrial broadcasting to satellite broadcasting to now OTT. So all these changes have come. Now, as far as the programming is concerned, obviously there's a complete changeover. There was a time, as I said, people were watching one film in a week. Now there are so many OTT platforms. We are watching not only film, this web series on so many channels, so many platforms. So as far as the program production and transmission is concerned, there's a complete change. And as far as the viewership or viewing habit is concerned, that has also changed. The aspirations of the people have changed. The information needs of the people have changed. The entertainment habits of the people have changed. So, I mean, the scenario has completely changed. And now we are even entered into this whole era wherein whole debate is there that how long this satellite TV survive. There was a time that satellite TV was a very in thing in 1990s. Now this is a time that within few years, obviously satellite television will remain there, but there will not be many takers of satellite TV. And then there is one more thing which has changed since Justice Sikar, you talk about the changes which has happened. One more thing has changed. The attitude of policymakers has changed. Though this changes very with much difficulty, whichever time we talk about, whether in 70s, 80s, 90s, or this 21st century, the second decade is completed. Now, policymakers are always very rigid. Anytime policymakers, they are not very open to the changes happening in the world, and there are always hiccups, there are always reluctance on the part of the policymakers, particularly when I say policymakers, people who are sitting in power, the government, the ministers, and the bureaucrats. But then, despite this, some change has definitely happened. And interesting things I can tell you as far as the evolution or the growth of television is concerned. There was a time when this Narasimha Rao government came to power in 1991. Around 93 or 94, I still remember, there was a proposal brought before the government that we should give permission to DTH operators. Now, DTH operators are direct to home. Direct to home, many of us will be using it, so I believe you can understand it easily. Before DTH, there used to be only cable operators, right? So this DTH operator more or less replaced gradually the cable operators. Now DTH operators before DTH, so DTH was to be allowed in the country, and this was a policy decision which was taken by the government. So there was information and broadcasting minister, if I exactly remember, this P.A. Sangma, who was later became the speaker of the Lok Sabha, and he was a minister in the central government. He presented a complete report before the cabinet about DTH, but the cabinet said no to DTH. And the initial proposal were brought by many companies. NDTV came with the proposal. They wanted to set up a DTH company, but the government said that permitting DTH is detrimental to the sovereignty of the country. Now, if you look at this argument today, it looks so ironical. I mean, the policymakers were scared of DTH. And in fact, if I can tell you, taking both radio and television together, both radio and television growth has been delayed in the country by policymakers. Though we are now sitting in 2020, but the kind of growth which is happening in 2020 would have happened in 1910 or 1912 had the policymakers been having the foresight. So everything got delayed. But then one thing must be understood. Any technology can be delayed by the policymakers. It cannot be completely stopped. If a technology is there, which is for betterment, which is for growth, which is changing the system, that technology is bound to come. So ultimately, we are enjoying all this technology in television. But since we are talking particularly about broadcasting today, which is reference is to the television channels, which are airing or which are broadcasting programs for us. So this broadcasting, if I personally make an assessment, is at the most a life of not more than of 10 years, at the most. And there's nothing. I mean, to be afraid of, to be scared of this, because this is a cycle. This is a change which always happen. Any century, any decade, changes happen. So the satellite TV or the broadcasting TV had its time from 1990 to 1920. Another 10 years time, if we give it to it, it will be there in 1930. And meantime, this whole internet-based transmission, internet-based medium will rise, as we all see that everything is now internet based, and the kind of thing which corona has done to us, it can accelerate it, that is speed. Now in this today's edition also, we are doing with the help of the internet. So broadcasting days are almost over, but then one thing is there, one thing remain there. Because when we say broadcasting, again, for the understanding of common, I mean, people who do not has any background in this area, there are two important things happen in broadcasting as far as from the broadcaster's point of view, if we try to understand. Because if the people who are attending this session, if tomorrow they are making a career in broadcasting, so what they will be doing. So this is, I am telling the things from this perspective. Two things happen. One is the content generation and another is the transmission. So transmission technology will change, but content generation will remain there. So any platform that you use, even, I mean, on digital, we use, I mean, we do different kind of programs, but what is the ultimate thing? We produce program, and by making use of a platform, we upload that program. अगर हम YouTube पे भी कोई अपना भी चैनल शुरू करते हैं तो प्रोग्राम बना के तब अपलोड करते हैं, तो प्रोग्रामिंग इज देयर. तो अभी जो ब्रॉडकास्टिंग चैनल्स हैं वो क्या कर रहे हैं, अगर उनको भी मालूम है कि ब्रॉडकास्टिंग days are numbered, so they have also digressed. So what they are doing, अगर आप किसी भी टेलीविजन न्यूज चैनल पे रात में किसी भी समय कोई भी बुलेटिन कोई भी प्रोग्राम देखते हैं, so what the channels do, that they make a capsule or the complete program, they put it on their website. So what is the change? अगर मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है रात को 8 बजे या 9 बजे का प्राइम टाइम बुलेटिन किसी चैनल पे सुनने का, तो मैं रात को 12 बजे उस चैनल की वेबसाइट पे जाऊंगा और जो 9 बजे प्रोग्राम एयर हुआ उसको देख लूंगा. So this is what internet has done. But then programming is there, program production is there. So for the people who want to enter into television area, who have a interest in television, when we say television, what does it mean? As far as interest in television is concerned, interest in television means somebody is mesmerized, somebody is attracted to the visual medium. You are producing program for a visual medium. So if today you are entering into television or you are studying this as a subject, if after 5 years there is no channel, the kind of channels that we have, but then programming will be there and programs will be produced and will be put on the website, on the digital platform, that channel. So, I mean, nobody should misunderstand what I am telling you this, that there is no future in broadcasting. The future is broadcasting for all those people who are budding media professionals, but then you have to be a multitasker. If you are simply wanted to join a television channel because you want to be seen and then you don't prepare yourself for other things, then there is a problem. So there is a need of multitasker, whether it's print, radio, television, digital. So if you're entering in today's time in broadcasting, in television, news or any such platform, then you should be good in writing, you should be good in speaking, you should be good in technology wise also, I mean, whether editing or camera. So that way you have to look at broadcasting in today's time. I think I've answered your question. If there is something left, then you can cross question also.
Yes, sir. Thank you for answering that. Basically, this question is for our media aspirants and media students. So whenever they join the course of bachelor's in journalism and mass communication, they all think that broadcast journalism is related to reporting and anchoring. So if you could tell us more about as to what all jobs does it constitute and everything, the structure and everything.
So in TV broadcasting, the important jobs that you might be doing if you join a television channel. Uh, Most of the people are attracted towards anchoring. So obviously anchor is something because everybody wants to be seen. So, but then anchoring can never be the primary thing. You have to enter a TV channel as a news person, right? And no channel, rather I should say with exceptions. There are one or two channels which might be giving some fresher an appointment as an anchor. Normally, most of the channels do not do it. Because why? Because those channels believe that a newsman finally grows as an anchor. So anchor is something which you acquire that learning, that understanding, that skill during the process of your growth as a journalist, right? So you enter a television channel as a news person, and then you will be in the newsroom. As an intern also you will be put in the newsroom. As a trainee also you will be in the newsroom. Now let me tell you what is a newsroom. For those who do not know about this or who have heard about this term for the first time, newsroom is a place wherein the all news pour in from different sources. So जहां जहां से भी न्यूज होगी वो सारी एक जगह आके इकट्ठी होती है. And newsroom is something which is there in every medium, whether we talk about print, whether we talk about radio, whether we talk about television. क्योंकि जहां भी न्यूज की हैंडलिंग है तो सबसे पहले न्यूज होनी चाहिए. न्यूज कहाँ से है? News will be coming either through the news agencies, PTI and UNI, Press Trust of India, or United News of India. These are the two major news agencies in India. Then there's another agency, ANI, which channels use. This is the first two agencies are set up on the cooperative basis. The third one, this ANI, Asia News International. This is a private news agency, which is more or less providing its services, selling its services to all the news channels, right? Even Doordarshan. So, the news is flowing from ANI, PTI, UNI, and then the news is also flowing in through the channel's own correspondents. Correspondents are the major chunk. Then there are correspondents at the district level also. Then so they file their stories. Now, so all these stories have come. All those stories reach in the newsroom. Then it is decided in the newsroom that what all stories are to be selected, are to be packaged, and are to be put in the news channels. So that is how the whole operation is broadly divided into two areas. One is input, another is output, right? So input will be whatever, whatever input or reports, etc. are reaching. So, so either you will be working in the input, and output will be the people who are producing the bulletin, right? So either you will be in the job of receiving stories, editing stories, selecting stories, getting the packages made and all, then you are working in the input. And then when you are finally producing the bulletins, ensuring the transmission of the bulletins in that team, that you are working in the output. Then obviously there is an assignment desk. Assignment desk is assigning the stories to the reporters. It's like in newspapers, if you understand the working of newspapers, there are bureaus, there are reporters room, and then are reporters who are given the beats. And then on a day-to-day basis, the assignment is given to the reporters. Then they have to cover this, they have to cover this. Today, this minister's press conference is happening. Somebody is covering COVID, so must be going to the AIIMS and other hospitals, collecting the information from there and all. So almost more or less on the same way, the assignment desk is there, and then the reporters are there. So if you are working in the, normally no channel is giving the opportunity of reporting to anybody whosoever is joining a television in the first group. You might be spending a few years, maybe 2 years, maybe 3, 4, 5, whatever. I mean, it depends. And then you are given an opportunity of reporting. Normally in journalism, we believe whichever medium we are working, print, radio, television, digital, anywhere, Normally, it's believed it's a very conventional thing, but it's still that is more or less being practiced. That you have to be good in editing. Uh, Only then you can be good in reporting. So mostly, whether newspaper or television channel, you have to spend certain years in the newsroom. Then you might be absorbed in the reporting, and then you are, because reporting is very catchy. You are going out as a reporter, meeting a lot of important people, coming in proximity to them. So as a human being, most of the people are attracted to this, that they are doing going proximity with important people, they are doing the networking, they can directly access to any minister, to any top bureaucrat, to foreign diplomats and all. So, but then reporting is not that way easy to get. Once you get the reporting, then obviously you are doing your P2C. That's a piece to camera. So if you are doing your piece to camera for common people who are in this session, if I can tell you, if you are watching television channel, you would have seen that the reporter is reporting something, and then at the end of this, he is saying something, holding mic in his hand. That is piece to camera. So the piece to camera is you are giving. So if you are giving piece to camera, this means you have to be good in speaking, good in expression, good in facing the camera. This is which is a prerequisite for piece to camera. So this means you will be given reporting only when you are capable of doing this. Otherwise, even if you get reporting, you will never get an important story to cover because you are not comfortable in doing piece to camera. Once you master in doing piece to camera, then the door for anchoring opens. If you're good in reporting, good in piece to camera, then your seniors will make out that you are the person who is now prepared to take up anchoring. This is the normal course to anchor. So nobody should be in a hurry, because you should also give yourself time for your growth, which in any case, no number of years can be prescribed. I also cannot prescribe, but then roughly for an understanding, I can tell you, it may take minimum 5 to 6 years to be on that. If you are God gifted, you can be from day one, you can be an anchor. There are people, these kind of people also, but then they can be good anchors, but they can never be good news person. But you can be a good anchor, but then if you are not a good news person, your life will be very, very short. But if you have grown to become an anchor and you knows everything, right from editing, reporting, assignment, input, output, everything you understand, then from anchor you will straight become the editor. Most of the senior anchors that you see on the screen, whether you watch Ravish Kumar or whether Sudhir Chaudhary or I mean any such anchor, they are appearing on the screen and anchor, but they are not actually anchor. They are much more than anchor. They are having the designation of the editors, editor-in-chief, group editors, and so many. So they are not merely anchor. If you start merely as an anchor and you get an opportunity, but then your career will not be of more than 5 or 10 years. But if you have reached at the level of anchor 5, 6, 7 years, then within 4, 5 years, you will be on the first or the second position in the channel. And that will have a long inning, another 10, 20 years will be yours. So this is the right course. But then one important thing which I always believe and I keep on telling the people, anything that you do in media or anybody who is working in media, who is aspiring to become a media professional, whichever level you want to work, you have to be a performer, right? Media, anything, any kind of work that you do in media is a performing art, right? ये ब्यूरोक्रेसी जैसा नहीं है कि आप बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, आपने आईएएस कर लिया, फिर आप फाइलों पे डिसीजंस ले, वो भी इंपॉर्टेंट काम है, आई डोंट से कि दैट्स नॉट एन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, बट देन वहां पे आपकी परफॉर्मेंस जो है क्लोज डोर्स में है। बट यहाँ पर एनीथिंग दैट यू डू इन प्रिंट एंड टेलीविजन, बोथ टेलीविजन में ज्यादा, आप फेस कर रहे हैं लाखों करोड़ों लोगों को एट वन टाइम। तो यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू कमिट ए मिस्टेक, इवन द स्लाइटेस्ट मिस्टेक, क्योंकि आपकी एक छोटी सी गलती लाखों करोड़ों लोगों पे पहुंच गई। अगर आपने गलत इंफॉर्मेशन दी, चाहे डेलिबरेटली दी, चाहे आपने अनइंटेंशनल दी, वो बहुत दूर तक चली जाएगी। और इंटरनेट एज में तो और ज्यादा वो फिर शेयर होने लगेगी, उस चैनल की वेबसाइट पे चली जाएगी, फिर जितने और लोग हैं वो उसको शेयर करेंगे, फाइनली बाद में पता लगे तो गलत है। नाउ हाउ विल यू कंट्रोल दैट डैमेज, एंड हाउ विल यू हैव द फेस सेविंग फॉर योर मिस्टेक? तो आपकी एक मिस्टेक से यू आर फिनिश्ड। इसलिए जर्नलिज्म इज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट प्रोफेशन, हैज ऑलवेज बीन ए डिफिकल्ट प्रोफेशन, बट प्रिंट में फिर भी थोड़ी सी गनीमत थी। 24 घंटे में एक बार न्यूज़पेपर आता था, अगर गलती हो गई अगले दिन कोरिजेंडम चला जाता था, न्यूज़पेपर माफी भी मांग लेता था अपनी गलती के लिए। बट यहाँ तो अभी गलती हुई तो जब एयर पे जा रहा है तभी लाखों लोगों तक पहुंच गया, और उसके बाद जब शेयरिंग हुई डिजिटल पे फिर वो करोड़ों लोगों तक पहुंच गया। अब आप उसे वापस ही नहीं ले सकते, और आप कहाँ कहाँ जाके माफी मांगेंगे कि आपने गलती कर दी। वो सबसे डिफिकल्ट पार्ट है मीडिया इन जनरल और जर्नलिज्म इन पर्टिकुलर। इसलिए आई विल ऑलवेज से कि दो चीजें किसी भी मीडिया में जो एंट्री कर रहा है उसके लिए जरूरी है। एक तो वो उसको परफॉर्मेंस आती है, कैसे अपनी बात कहनी है। परफॉर्मेंस डज नॉट मीन कि आप स्क्रीन पे ही हमेशा हैं। आप एक बुलेटिन के एडिटर हैं, वो बना रहे हैं, वहां भी परफॉर्मेंस है। आपको सेलेक्ट करना है कौन सी स्टोरी पहले आएगी, आपको रन डाउन डिसाइड करना है, पूरा ऑर्डर डिसाइड करना है, कौन सी स्टोरी कितनी देर की होगी, पैकेज बन के आ गए कैसे बनने, वो इंश्योर करना है। वो भी वहाँ परफॉर्मेंस है आपकी। और वो परफॉर्मेंस सिर्फ काम कंटेंट को लेके ही नहीं है, स्पीड को लेके, टाइम को लेके। 9 बजे का प्राइम टाइम 9 बजे ही आएगा। तो आप अगर उस बुलेटिन को एडिट कर रहे हैं, आप उसके इंचार्ज हैं, प्रोड्यूसर हैं, तो आप 9:15 तक काम नहीं खत्म करेंगे, आप 8:30 तक काम खत्म करना पड़ेगा। तो परफॉर्मेंस चाहिए आप। परफॉर्मेंस के लिए सिर्फ ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस से मेरा मतलब आपको काम करके दिखाना है, देन एंड देयर काम करके दिखाना है। तो परफॉर्मेंस की कैपेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए। ऑब्वियसली एक दिन भी नहीं आती, धीरे धीरे सीखते हैं, जो आज एंटर करेगा। इसीलिए पढ़ाई की इंपॉर्टेंस है। जब आप इंडस्ट्री में जाएंगे, अगर 3 साल आपने बैचलर ऑफ जर्नलिज्म एंड मास कम्युनिकेशन कर लिया, तो आपने बेसिक चीजें सीख ली, आपके लिए कुछ नया नहीं है। फिर जैसे ही आप इंटर्नशिप भी कर ली तो आपको ऑपरेशनल पार्ट भी चैनल्स का समझ में आ गया, फंक्शनिंग समझ में आ गई। तो जब आप एंटर करेंगे तो आपको दिक्कत नहीं होगी। फिर तो 4 साल काम करेंगे, देन यू विल बी कंफर्टेबल इन हैंडलिंग एनीथिंग इन टेलीविजन। फिर परफॉर्मेंस वाली प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, लेकिन वो इवॉल्व होंगी चीजें, एक दिन में नहीं होगी। तो एक तो परफॉर्मेंस, और दूसरा नॉलेज। मीडिया इंडस्ट्री इज ए नॉलेज इंडस्ट्री, और एजुकेशन इंडस्ट्री से थोड़ा सा अलग है, क्योंकि एजुकेशन इंडस्ट्री में योर वर्क is not being evaluated on a day-to-day basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute basis, or on a second basis. But यहाँ पर नॉलेज इंडस्ट्री होने का मतलब जो मैंने बताया कि आपके पास नॉलेज हो, समझ हो, और आपके परफॉर्मेंस करने के, तो नॉलेज प्लस परफॉर्मेंस, ये दोनों चीजें आपको चाहिए मीडिया में कुछ भी करने के लिए। और टेलीविजन में तो बिल्कुल चाहिए, बिना उसके टेलीविजन में करियर हो नहीं सकता।
Thank you, sir. If anyone else has any questions, please write it in the chat box. I have one related question. Also, I would request everyone to please write their name. Sir, I have one related question with the question that I just asked, again for media aspirants and media students. What skills or qualities should they cultivate to become an anchor or a reporter? What skills or qualities should they have? Should they cultivate in themselves, because that is the most sought after profession that they want to go into. They want to be on TV. Yes, sir.
So the only thing which is required is knowledge, knowledge, and knowledge, nothing else. Every other thing can be managed. But if your knowledge is, you are weak in your knowledge, then nothing can compensate that. you will be trapped. Every now and then you will be trapped in doing something. कभी आप स्टोरी का गलत सिलेक्शन कर देंगे, कभी आप हेडलाइन गलत लगा देंगे, कभी आप गलत लेवल पे एनालिसिस को ले जाएंगे, आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं आप, या कोई भी। तो अगर आपकी नॉलेज में आपकी कमी है तो बहुत समस्या है। इसलिए और उसका बहुत ही आसान तरीका है। अब द न्यू जनरेशन इज इनफैक्ट लकी that they have formal education. In our generation there was no such thing. हर एक को अपने से ही काम करना होता था। तो उसका एक अच्छा एस्पेक्ट ये होता था कि आपको अपनी पढ़ाई खुद करनी है। आप बीए एमए कुछ भी कर रहे हो, वो तो एक आपका कन्वेंशनल पढ़ाई हो गई, और आपका इंटरेस्ट मीडिया में, तो आप अपने आप ही पढ़ाई लिखाई करते थे, क्योंकि मीडिया मतलब पढ़ाई लिखाई। मैं आया, इससे पहले की जनरेशन वालों ने भी यही बताया। जब मैंने एंटर किया तो मेरे सीनियर्स रोज एक किताब पकड़ा देते थे कि ये पढ़ लो, फिर पूछते थे कितने दिन में खत्म कर लोगे। तो मैंने कहा 1 हफ्ता लगेगा। 1 हफ्ता क्यों, 3 दिन में वापस करो, दूसरी किताब दूंगा पढ़ने के लिए। तो वो पढ़ाई वाली जनरेशन थी। तो उस समय ठीक है फॉर्मल एजुकेशन नहीं थी, लेकिन पढ़ाई ऐसे हो जाती थी। अब फॉर्मल एजुकेशन है, तो दैट वे दिस प्रेजेंट जनरेशन इज लकी। बट देन simply taking admission, firstly obviously you have to take admission in a journalism and mass communication program, but merely that is not enough. You have to enter with a mindset कि आप 3 साल का इस्तेमाल जो है पढ़ाई लिखाई में करें। पढ़ाई लिखाई का मतलब नहीं आप किताब लेके बैठे हुए हैं और रटाई कर रहे हैं, वो नहीं चाहिए। कुछ भी पढ़िए। जर्नलिज्म में सबसे अच्छी बात यह है, आप जो भी पढ़ते हैं वो आपके इस्तेमाल के लिए। आप ऑटोबायोग्राफीज पढ़ डालिए, बायोग्राफीज पढ़ डालिए, फिक्शन पढ़ लीजिए, पोइट्री पढ़ लीजिए, प्रोज पढ़ लीजिए, कुछ भी पढ़िए, वो आपका नॉलेज बेस बनता जाएगा। और जब आपको जरूरत पड़ेगी आप अपने हार्ड ड्राइव से निकालिए और यूज कर लिया, जो आपके दिमाग में हार्ड ड्राइव है। अब क्योंकि आज की जनरेशन का थोड़ा जो अच्छी चीजें हैं, थोड़ी उनकी निगेटिव चीजें ये हैं कि वो सारा कुछ गूगल पे भरोसा करते हैं। गूगल इज यूजफुल फॉर इंस्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन। अभी आपको कोई चीज याद नहीं आ रही कि ये फैक्ट 1980 में हुआ था, 81 में हुआ था, गूगल पे चेक कर लो। लेकिन आपको पता ही नहीं कि ऐसा कुछ हुआ था, फिर कहां से चेक करो? तो आपके बैक ऑफ माइंड में चीजें होनी चाहिए, वो तभी होंगी जब आप पढ़ेंगे। और न्यूज एंड करंट अफेयर्स तो बहुत ही जरूरी है। आप कुछ भी करें, आप इवन मैंने तो देखा प्यूज भी जो न्यूज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के होते हैं वो एक सब एडिटर के बराबर जानते हैं, बिकॉज दे लिव इन द न्यूज वर्ल्ड, न्यूज की दुनिया में रहते हैं। तो आप कुछ भी करें, न्यूज एंड करंट अफेयर्स की दुनिया में रहना शुरू कर दीजिए। तो आपको जब जानने की उत्सुकता होगी, इच्छा होगी, अच्छा राजस्थान में क्या हुआ, चलो देखते हैं, पता करते हैं। अच्छा वहाँ ट्रम्प का क्या हुआ इलेक्शन का, तो चलो देख लेते हैं कि क्या कुछ लेटेस्ट है वहां पे। तो जब इस तरह की इच्छाएं आपके मन में जागने लगेंगी तो समझ लीजिए कि आपका काम हो गया, आप तैयार। तो वो तैयारी के लिए 3 साल है। जब आप बीजेएमसी जैसे कोर्स में एडमिशन लेते हैं तो आप वो 3 साल में अपने को तैयार कर लेते हैं। तो आपको उस कोर्स को पूरा करते ही आप फास्ट स्पीड से दौड़ने लगेंगे, और आप उस 3 साल को वेस्ट करेंगे तो फिर अनदर 3 साल आपको लगेंगे इंडस्ट्री में एक सर्टेन लेवल पे पहुंचने के लिए। तो मैं ये भी एडवाइस करूंगा, सिर्फ एडमिशन ही ना लें, इस इरादे के साथ एडमिशन लें कि आप सचमुच कुछ करना चाहते हैं। इरादा होगा तो फिर बिल्कुल मुश्किल नहीं है, क्योंकि जो 18 साल की उम्र होती है, 17-18 साल की, ये किसी की लाइफ का बेस्ट टाइम होता है। लर्निंग बहुत फास्ट होती है, चाहे वो आप नॉलेज की बात करें, चाहे स्किल की, क्योंकि स्किल इज इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट इन द टेक्नोलॉजी एज। तो वो बहुत तेजी से होगा। तो अगर जो भी लोग इंटरेस्टेड हैं उनको ये सारा सोच के अपनी मेंटल मेकअप के साथ, मेंटल तैयारी के साथ इंडस्ट्री में एंटर करना चाहिए।
Yes. So we have one question. This is from Praveen Osmania Journalism. That do you feel most media organizations are left leaning?
Left leaning? No, it used to be. It used to be. It used to be for the simple reason. मैं 2-3 लाइन में इसको आसानी से बता देता हूँ आपको। ये बहुत किस लिए था, क्योंकि मीडिया पहले भी आज भी माना जाता है, अब कितना होता है वो अलग बात है, माना ये जाता है कि ये वॉइसलेस को वॉइस देता है। ठीक है, जिसके पास आवाज नहीं है उसकी आवाज बनता है मीडिया, ये बेसिक बात कही जाती है। तो जब आप कोई भी ऑप्रेस्ड है, कोई भी सप्रेस्ड है, विक्टिमाइज्ड है, चाहे वो सिस्टम का विक्टिम हो, चाहे वो वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट के हाथों से परेशान हो रहा हो, चाहे किसी गरीब को सताया जा रहा हो, मारा जा रहा हो, उसका हक छीना जा रहा हो, तो हम क्या कहते हैं, मीडिया वॉचडॉग के रोल में आ जाते हैं, गरीब के साथ खड़ा हो जाता है, हो गया लेफ्टिस्ट। ठीक है, लेफ्टिस्ट को जो डेफिनेशन मैं जानता हूँ, बाकी आप किसी और को कुछ बताओ, लेफ्टिज्म की बहुत सीधी सी परमिशन है, डेफिनेशन है, अगर आप उस व्यक्ति के साथ खड़े हैं जिसके साथ कोई नहीं खड़ा है, आप उसके इंटरेस्ट के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, उसको वॉच कर रहे हैं, तो यही लेफ्टिस्ट करते हैं और यही जर्नलिज्म है। तो इसलिए देयर यूज्ड टू बी अ टाइम कि जो लेफ्ट ना भी कहें आप उसको, हम अगर सही टर्मिनोलॉजी इस्तेमाल करें, अगर मैं मुझसे कहा जाए तो मैं सही टर्मिनोलॉजी अगर इस्तेमाल करूं तो वो है, यू हैव टू हैव अ प्रोग्रेसिव थिंकिंग एंड लीनिंग टू बिकम ए गुड जर्नलिस्ट। नहीं तो आप बड़े लोगों की चीजें दिखाएंगे, आप किसी गरीब की चीज तो दिखाएंगे नहीं, फिर जर्नलिस्ट कैसे हुए आप? तो इसलिए जब आप प्रोग्रेसिव माइंडसेट के साथ जर्नलिज्म को प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, दिस मींस कि आपकी लेफ्ट लीनिंग हो गई, लेकिन अब नहीं है। अब पिछले 7-8 साल में, 10 साल में चीजें बदल गई हैं, लेकिन अगेन ये भी कांस्टेंट नहीं है, चीजें बदली हैं क्योंकि अब का जर्नलिज्म जो है वो दूसरी साइड के साथ खड़ा हुआ है। पहले जिसको क्वेश्चन करता था उसके साथ खड़ा हो गया है, तो अब तो लेफ्ट है ही नहीं, लेफ्ट थिंक प्रोग्रेसिव थिंकिंग भी नहीं है। लेकिन ये मे बी ए टेम्परेरी फेज, क्योंकि देखिए कोई भी चीज एक सी चलती नहीं, ऊपर नीचे चीजें होती हैं, समय बदल गया, पॉलिटिक्स देश की बदल गई, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के तरीके बदल गए, पॉलिटिशियंस बदल गए, वैल्यू सिस्टम बदल गया, सोसाइटी का वैल्यू सिस्टम चेंज हो गया। तो जर्नलिज्म कोई आइसोलेशन में तो होता नहीं, वैक्यूम में नहीं हो रहा है, इस समाज के अंदर है, इसका हिस्सा ही है। तो इसलिए अब चीजें बदल गई, अब सारा नीचे की जगह ऊपर का वाला जर्नलिज्म होने लगा। बट देन थिंग्स विल अगेन चेंज, क्योंकि जर्नलिज्म में कुछ भी ऐसा हो नहीं सकता जो पीपल सेंट्रिक नहीं हो। कोई भी ऐसी चीज जो पीपल रिजेक्ट कर देते हैं वो नहीं चलेगी। पहले भी हुआ है, अभी बड़े लेवल पे हो रहा है, पहले भी छोटी मोटी चीजें होती थी, छोटी मोटी चीजें, जैसे कि मैं बताऊं कि एक अखबार हुआ करता था पेट्रियट, सीपीआई सपोर्टेड था, खत्म हो गया। एक अखबार हुआ करता था जो जैसे वीर अर्जुन, अब है लेकिन उसको कौन जानता है, वो बीजेपी सपोर्ट, जनसंघ सपोर्टेड हुआ करता था, खत्म हो गया। एक अखबार हुआ करता था नेशनल हेरेंड, जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी ने उसको स्थापित किया था, कांग्रेस सपोर्टेड था, खत्म हो गया। इस तरह का जर्नलिज्म 60s 70s 80s 90s में लोगों ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया, अभी एक्सेप्ट किया हुआ है। लेकिन अभी एक्सेप्ट किया हुआ डज नॉट मीन कि आगे भी करेंगे। हो सकता है कल को इस जर्नलिज्म को रिजेक्ट कर दें, फिर पुराना वाला आ जाए या कोई नए तरह का जर्नलिज्म आ जाए, नोबडी नोज, क्योंकि ये तो जर्नलिज्म इज अ वेरी डायनेमिक प्रोफेशन एंड मीडिया इज समथिंग व्हिच कीप्स ऑन चेंजिंग। तो मीडिया की नेचर ही बदलना है, और जर्नलिज्म में तो इनहेरेंट है डायनामिज्म, तो फिर बदलेगा। अभी अगर कुछ गड़बड़ियां हैं कल ठीक हो जाएंगी, फिर कुछ और बेहतर अच्छे तरह का जर्नलिज्म भी होगा। तो आज जो लोग ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, जो अभी 3 साल पढ़ेंगे और 3 साल बाद जाएंगे, हो सकता है उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा टाइम मिले जर्नलिज्म में। सो यू शुड बी रेडी टू एंजॉय दैट गुड टाइम एंड टू कंट्रीब्यूट पॉजिटिवली टू दैट गुड टाइम।
Yes, sir, definitely. So thank you for your input, sir. It was indeed an insightful and enlightening session. I request everyone to please fill the feedback form and stay tuned for our next editions of Media Master webinar on language media on 26 July 2020, that is Sunday, and the other one on digital and social media, which will take place on 29th July 2020, next Wednesday, for which the links are provided in the chat box for you to register yourself. Thank you so much. Thank you for the session.